Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That is the Doberman CB Dollaway getting ready to fight Francis Carmont coming up in UFC Fight Night, May 31st in Berlin. We caught him right in the middle of packing, but more importantly, when was the last time you actually had a full night of sleep with training, your business, and your brand new little girl? Are you actually getting through the night?
Yeah, she's 9 months old now, so we're finally getting through the night. And my wife, does a tremendous job and takes on a tremendous amount of responsibility. It's just me and her down here in Arizona, no other family. So, between the two of us, she takes about 90% of the load with the baby and the house stuff. I, kind of handle the business and that kind of stuff, the fighting, keep her out of the cage.
Is your wife a full-time stay-at-home mom right now?
Yeah, she has to be, it just doesn't really balance out if she was to work and then we have to have someone, watching our baby. No one's going to raise your child, like you would. So to have her be able to stay at home and take care of our baby, little Faith, she's a full-time job and, that's what she does.
And that's very rare in any place in America right now to have a stay-at-home mom. It's very rare to have where one parent, whether it's a mom or the dad, can stay at home full time and take care of the house and the kids. Do you notice a difference? I'm sure your wife is out with other 9-month-old kids. I mean, she's got their little play dates and and that kind of stuff. Do you notice a difference in Faith versus the rest of the kids? Do you notice a difference in her already at 9 months?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like she's doing everything earlier than other kids, and she definitely has an attachment to her mom, and me, because I get to come home in between training sessions, I get to spend a lot of time with her, due to the job I have, and my gym's about a mile from my house. So in between training sessions, I'm at home getting to play with her and, helping her learn how to walk. She's almost ready to walk. She's only 9 months. So, things are progressing quickly and, it's awesome. The job I have allows me to do that.
That's one of the good things about being a professional fighter is that we do get to spend more time with our family. And that was always one of the decisions that kept me in the sport probably 5 years longer than I should have been, is that it was such a convenient way for me to be able to still go home and see the kids and still be able to go, even when you have to travel. Like you're getting ready to travel. You guys are getting ready to travel to Berlin. Is your wife, she's not going to come, right? She's going to stay at home?
Actually, my wife is going to come. She's going to come the day before the fight. Her stepmom is going to fly to Arizona and watch, Faith for us for a couple days, or a couple weeks actually, because we're headed to Nashville right after to go to the country music festival, and right after my fight. We're going to get back here for a day, and that's kind of that was my wife's Christmas present. I didn't know about the Carmont fight, so it worked out that the Carmont fight was before that, and it didn't ruin our the present I got her.
That's good, and this is like, I like country music. Most people don't know that, but I like country music. I spend a lot of time. My friends that live in Nashville, I try to see them as much as I can. Obviously, going to school in Oklahoma, you have no choice. If you want to date a girl, you got to know how to dance. To dance, you have to dance to country music. It's the only way it's going to work. It's just how it goes. Are you a country music fan as well?
Yeah, huge country music fan. I just feel like country music. I'm from a small town in Ohio. I grew up with country music. At the same time, the country music singers are awesome. They're very friendly. There's personable people. They're just like me and you. It's just a different atmosphere. It's a small world in the country music world, and you get to meet these people, and they make you feel like you've known them forever. They have that hospitality about them. It's a good clique of people.
The reason why I asked is because this present that you bought for your wife for Christmas almost sounded like a present that was more for you than it was for her. So it's like, let me double check this.
I'm a country music fan. She's like a super fan. She loves it. She knows every country singer or everything about. I'm a first level. She's the top tier.
Oh, perfect. Okay. What else are you gonna do in Nashville besides
me too?
besides the music festival? What else are you guys gonna do in Nashville? Are you gonna be a typical tourist and go see all the super sites that are running around in Nashville, or are you just gonna the music festival and spend some time because you've been on training camp for so long? It's some husband and wife time now.
Yeah, it's kind of up to her. Whatever she wants to do, we're gonna do it. But yeah, the festival is every day for 5 days. All the top musicians going on different stages. I think it's in like the football stadium there. So, I mean, I plan on spending a lot of time at the festival, or I imagine we'll spend a lot of time there. She's been in Nashville before. I've been there before. We saw the site. So
Okay.
I think it'll be about us just relaxing, getting to spend some time together, no matter what we do.
I mean, honestly, after a fight, and for as much as now that I know as big a fan that she is and how big a fan that you are of country music, it's a great way it's a vacation for the two of you to finally reconnect after such a long training camp, after having a baby, after, there's life is going on. And believe me, you think you're handling everything well, but trust me, she's sitting there going, I don't know if CB is going to be able to get up tomorrow morning because he had to stay up till 2 in the morning dealing with the mats aren't cleaned right, or this electric bill's going to get paid for the gym, or this thing.
Yeah, it's we did a lot in this last year. We got married, had a baby, had a lot of fights. This fight coming like back-to-back training camps. I think I had a week off, so it's we need some me and some husband and wife time, and just it's awesome. Our stepmom's coming down and watching our baby. Watching Faith for almost 2 weeks. She's going to be here taking care of her. So, it's huge. Her family's stepping up and helping out. But, yeah, it's something we need to just get away and go, have some husband-wife time, just me and her, and kind of reconnect like you're saying.
Now, you're used to seeing Faith every day, in between training practices even. Like, you come home from training, she's right there. Are you prepared for the 2 weeks of being away from your baby?
Yeah, I mean, I just did it, this last trip to Brazil. I don't think you'll ever be prepared for it. You just deal with it. That was one of the new kind of things I dealt with in this last fight in Brazil. Sitting down there. My wife didn't come to that fight. She ended up staying, back here in Arizona. So it was just me, my training partners and coaches. So yeah, it was a different experience this time. You're sitting there looking pictures of your family. You've been away for a week, getting ready to fight. Put you in a different place than you're used to. But at the same time, looking at those pictures, you remember what you're doing it for, and gives you that little extra motivation.
Did your corners have to help you at all with the emotional aspect of it? Because there's a lot of emotion. Like most of the fans at home might not have kids, or don't understand that newbie where it's like you are attached to a child that you don't see him for a week. It's kind of like you're unbearing, and you have to be in a position where you're about to get hit in the head for a living. Like you're about to get punched and kicked, and you've got to have all your wits about you. Did your corner have to help you a little bit to kind of get your emotions under check to get ready to go, or did you deal with it knowing I got to win this fight for Faith? I have to be out here doing this.
Yeah, I mean it's something I've always handled, pretty well. My emotions and just the mental game of it. I feel like I'm a mentally strong person. Built that up from years and years of wrestling. But yeah, it was a new thing to deal with. But at the same time, to me, it was a motivation. It just put me in a different world. Like, not gonna lose this fight. There's only one thing to do, and that's to win. I want to continue moving up this ladder and try to provide a better life, for Faith and my wife.
The last fight against Cesar, you did a great job. You win by KO in the first round, 39 seconds. I mean, it was almost effortlessly. But we don't know what goes on through training camp. We don't know what goes on behind when you're trying to get ready to walk out. We don't know any of that stuff. All we know is that, wow, you walked in, CB wins, and that's it. Like to us at home as a fan, obviously as a fighter, I get it. But sitting at home, we're like, oh, that was easy. Like what the hell? Does CB even have to train for this kind of fight? So let's go back one more fight, the Tim Boetsch fight. You lose a split decision to Tim. That was back in October of 2013. Just got married, baby, business. Everything is just kind of coming on at one time. Other than the outside
ankle reconstructive surgery.
Yeah. What during that fight? Let's just take the fight. Just don't worry about the outside stuff, because that stuff is uncontrollable most of the time. In the fight, what do you think you could have done to make one more judge just give you the nod so that you win the split decision instead of losing it? See, I thought you won the fight. I had it when I was judging it at home. I thought you won the fight. I had it split. I was like, okay, it's probably going to be a split decision, but I had you winning the fight. So I'm one of those refs that was on your side, or one of the judges that was on your side. You just needed one more judge to go your way, and it's tough. Because I really couldn't see anything that you need to do more of or better of to sway anybody. It was more of what I could have not done, and that was to the eye pokes. Even though they just really cost me, and had a lot of people on Twitter and stuff being like, "You're a dirty fighter. You're trying to poke him in the eye." And I'm sure you, as a fighter, and any other fighter out there knows
that stuff happens. It's accidental. It was just an unfortunate situation that happened. That could have been the difference. In that last round. Not losing that point. That could have swayed the. That's the only thing I can see. Maybe the taunting a little bit. Could have cut that out. But it was one of those things. I was trying to use that to draw him in. I knew he had trouble closing distance. That's not my usual me. But I was trying to get him to come to me, so I can counter strike, hit him with some stuff. So maybe, that the judges didn't like that. I don't know, but so it's things I shouldn't have done, but the only thing I could have controlled is less taunting. I can't control the eye pokes; those happen, and it's just part of the sport. And you just move on, and you got to win your next fight. You're only as good as your last fight.
Right. I mean, and that's legitimately how our fans are so fickle. In 10 seconds, because you're a fight fan too. You're not just a fighter. You're a fight fan. You're not just a wrestler, but you're a wrestling fan. So you watch matches, you watch things happen. The eye poke's going to happen at some point. It's just the way the gloves are built, the way that we're built. It just happens. But then John Jones does it, and it's kind of okay because everyone right now loves John Jones. So he did his last fight. It's kind of okay. It's kind of written off. You did it 2 fights ago. You're a dirty fighter. So what changed in those 6 or 7 months? Well, nothing changed. It's just the fans. It's how they view what we're doing.
Knockout in Brazil changes it all.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the nice thing about it's the good thing and the bad thing about our sport. You're only as good as your last fight. Well, I got right back in there. I fought Caesar, knocked him out in 39 seconds. Bam, all of a sudden, fan favorite again. So it's one of those things, live by the sword, die by the sword, I guess.
Is it difficult for you to have 2 personalities because you have that outside the cage? You're very friendly. You're very humble. You're a hard ass worker. I've talked to tons of guys. Bader Simpson. They're just one of the hardest workers they have around. You get upset at yourself. You can't figure something out very quickly. But then in the cage, sometimes you have to be that taunting, kind of big brash, kind of like it's a second personality for you. Is it just when the cage door closes that personality comes out because you know what you need to do to win? Or is it something that you have to kind of practice because it's not you really at all?
Yeah, it's something you have to practice. Like, putting your hands up. It's something you had to practice. That's not me. It didn't just come naturally to be like, I'm just going to do this guy. Practice is premeditated. Like a lot of fans don't know, like how down to a science it becomes, when you're in there, like, how can I make this guy come to me? How can I, maybe how can I get in his head? It's mental warfare. Just, as being a fan of the sport, I watch a lot of Nick Diaz. I listen to his interviews. That guy, is a mentally strong person. He knows how to get in your head. He knows how to mess with you. And he's been successful, using it. So, yeah, it's one of those things you pick up stuff from other fighters, you take from other people. That's what you got to do. You got to always be progressing your game. If you think you're good enough and I'm just going to practice the same techniques and that's going to get me to the top, you're sadly mistaken. You've got to be growing every day or the sport's going to pass you by.
And that mental toughness, that psychological warfare comes from wrestling because it is a matter of angles and inches and percentage points, even in wrestling, of going between being an All-American and being the national champ. That's just how it works. A lot of it is being mentally in the other guy's head. Like a lot of it, Ben Askren, he was in everybody's head. Like he was in everybody's head without doing anything. It's by the time he came through again, it was just like you couldn't stop him. There was not a possible way to get this kid to slow down. He just mentally is just that strong. Yeah. The wrestlers I find that are that way now in MMA, they're learning the game of mental warfare while we're in there doing it. Chael Sonnen obviously is the best at it. He talks his way into fights and gets guys so irritated they give up the best positions just to try to hit him one more time, which lets him out of the way.
Yeah, the guys hate him. They're not fighting it. It's not a business to them anymore. They hate him. They're trying to kill him, and they're doing stuff they may not have done before. They don't have that cool, relaxed feeling. There's that sense of anger, like they really want to hurt him, and they may not be thinking straight, and they leave openings. So you got to leave all, you got to leave all the anger and hate on the outside of the cage and get in there and treat it as a sport. Otherwise, you may open yourself up, and that could be the end of your night.
Well, CB, I promise you 10 minutes. I've kept you out here 15 minutes. I apologize, but I love talking to you, and it's insightful to be able to talk to another wrestler that has grown in the sport and actually gets the sport that's still just a sport, but there's still other things you have to do and figure out between psychological and physical. So I know you're packing for Germany. Go get ready. Spend some more time with your daughter before you take off. Good luck against Francis, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Sweet. I appreciate it, Frank. Have a good one.